Hey guys, good morning. Fight Kitties here. I'm Lady J.
And I'm Lexi, and it's time for Kickass and
Kickass and
Coffee.
Coffee.
All right.
So I was like scrambling with the news this morning. I'm like trying to brush my teeth and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
So much new stuff. Unfortunately, today is the fluffy news is very, very slim to none. But we've got a lot of fight buzz to talk about today.
We do. And we got a quick hello. Got our quick good morning, Dean.
You're in early.
We're ready. We've got our coffee and we're ready for some fight buzz.
We are ready. Let's get started.
Okay, so we have a few bombs to drop today, like big news, but let's start with Tommaso Ciampa.
We're starting it super light, very easy. So we talked yesterday about how his music changed.
Yes.
And everybody was like, what the hell's happening? It's all right. He released his statement because fans were like coming at him on Twitter. So he went to Instagram and he just addressed it. And he said, personally, he really does like his new music. And he was like, more importantly, the message is fight to survive. So he's like, says that it resonates with him because he's like, everyone faces their own battles. And he starts talking about mental health. And it was actually really like positive Instagram post. I was like, this is so bizarre.
Yeah, very. It's a little baby face of him.
Yeah.
But I like it, I can't disagree with the guy. He's like, we must always choose to fight to survive. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
That's true. And he goes on to say that, like, apparently he's been a part of, like, a nonprofit. And me and Lady J were talking. It seems like one of the nonprofits happens to be, like, super close to us here.
Yeah, just outside of Orlando in Kissimmee. I'm like, wait, I know this name. Give Kids the World Village. I'm like, they have, like, the best Christmas lights every year. And, of course, all, like, the money they raise goes for their nonprofit. Like, it's a vacation resort for children who are like terminally ill, and it's like free for their families. So I'm like, that's cool.
That is so awesome, and that's very sweet. I was not expecting that. Out of all the things he were to say for his statement of new music, that was the least thing I was expecting.
But, I guess it was before. It was like no one will survive, and he's like, I'd rather much spread a message of fight to survive.
Yes.
Oh, we got some good mornings. And what's up?
Good morning,
Keith.
Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Joseph.
All right, guys.
The extreme life of Matt Hardy.
Yes. It's a podcast that they're going to do a 5-part series on the broken character.
That's a lot of information. I mean, I remember seeing this and like my biggest takeaway was when he had, I mean, if I have silly voices and Matt Hardy's like takes the cake, but his thing was like to delete. He'd be like, delete, to like, you're going to be freaking deleted. That's all I remember from his like crazy voice and deleting everybody.
Oh my goodness. Keith asked if we were going to talk about NXT. We're going to move on to that.
Are we going to talk about NXT?
We're going to get into that. Don't you worry. And somebody asked if we cover Stardom.
It's one of our like back burner. Like we love them. We think they're so cool. I've been a little chicken shit about getting started on that. I'm like, I gotta like bite the bullet and like get my subscription for like Tokyo Joshi Pro and Stardom and just dive into it.
Absolutely. And all right. He says good morning. He's eating his breakfast and he's got his coffee.
Heck yes, that's what we're here, kicking ass and coffee.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So like March 4th, which is right around the corner, like 2 days from now. So Matt Hardy and his co-host John Alba, they've been making news with like covering his career, the landscape of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
becoming
think
broken.
I'm like interested to kind of see, because you know we're gonna get like a first-hand account of like the broken universe, but it's like I want to know, what does that exactly entail? Like, how much are we gonna go? How far back does it gonna take us to? Because if you think about 6 episodes, that's a lot of explaining to do.
That's a lot of explaining to do. Well, we'll have to check this out and kind of see what people say about it. And sounds interesting.
That sounds interesting.
All right, on to our next story. Brandy Rhodes locking it down.
Oh yeah. She has locked it down with several trademarks as of last month. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Last month, just like a few days ago. But yeah, she filed for the terms were a shot of Brandy with her like YouTube show and her ring name. And, you know, as we know, we saw her working with AEW, but there was a lot of scandal about that in the past month.
Like, and, we like her, we don't like her. We like her, we don't like her.
We did hear a lot of mixed things about them, but I don't know what's true or not.
Yeah, we aren't privy to the inner workings and inner relations. We're not besties with them. We have no idea.
No, unfortunately, we're not besties with them. Soon though. Soon though.
Oh, Joseph is also excited to see the like backstory of Matt Hardy's broken universe.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
It's just one chapter of the greater Wrestleverse.
Yeah. And we're moving on to some WWE. So WWE and A&E.
Yes, we talked about this and we kind of were like, what are they going to do?
So they have now partnered with them, as we knew what was going to happen. And they're going to partner with over 130 new hours of like premium WWE themed series.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like we were just trying to figure out all the hours of shows during WrestleMania week. And we're like, how are we all going to cover this? 130 hours of A&E wrestling biography. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to, WWE is going to start beginning a production on like 24 new episodes of the original series called WWE's Most Wanted Treasures. And the first season's going to air, I believe, this year on A&E. So there's a lot coming to A&E. If you don't have that subscription yet, actually.
Do you think it'll be on the WWE's Peacock stuff, or I don't know?
I don't know how that works. I know with a lot of like streaming platforms, they get a little bit weird. There's like certain like regulations, and you know, in a perfect world, it would just be one price for one thing, and you can watch everything.
What?
Because I feel like I have to pay, we pay like Netflix, we pay like Hulu, we pay Peacock, we pay like so many different things. If everything could just be in one, my life would be simplified.
Oh man. But if you like stories, yeah. I mean, it's fun to get a little background on our favorite characters.
Yes.
And favorite characters like Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, Samoa Joe.
Joe.
So he went on to address his pro wrestling future. And so he has not been a full-time like in-ring performer in over 2 years due to like concussions that he's had. He had one last year where he beat Karrion Kross to win the NXT title. And then later, after having to deal with that concussion, he tested positive for COVID. So poor guy just could not catch a break.
I was really loving that whole like Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross. Like that was, they had some good chemistry, some good, you know, beefy chemistry. That would have been fun.
That would have. It's kind of bummer that this all happened to him with a span of like 2 months.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
And he actually worked as like a scout and a coach in NXT before he was released by WWE in January, which I didn't even realize he was a scout or a coach. And then I was thinking, like, when I was reading on this, like, how does scouting work when it comes to wrestling?
Well, I guess you're watching a lot of indie shows, right? And you're like, oh, that Nick Wayne.
I was wondering if it started.
That was an impressive young man.
Oh, they probably scouted him like the second they saw him. But yeah, I was like, I wonder if it happens like in indies, or does it happen like when they're just in wrestling school? Like, does that one scouting start?
I mean, I think of like regular sports scouting where like they're playing, basketball or football games, and they're like, the scouts are gonna be out,
Yeah. It's probably the same. Can you imagine? You're like, oh my God, the scout is Samoa Joe. It's like, come on. And yeah, since leaving WWE, he's actually done a lot of like cool voiceover work, and that's like the kind of industry he's been leaning towards. Definitely straying away from wrestling, which is
I'm trying to imagine his voiceover work right now. I'm like, what did he do? Did he do like commercials or something, or like the video game, or?
I don't know why I pictured him in a kids movie. I don't know. That was the first thing my mind went to when I read voiceover.
You're like, he was the voice of so-and-so in, Disney's Mulan. Or, yeah, that was his voice on Encanto.
Yeah. So in the interview, he was praising the Creed brothers, Solo Sakai, Braun Breaker. He was saying he was really disappointed he did not get to work with Breaker. And yeah.
I guess he's still training, though.
Yeah, he is still training.
He's going to stay ready.
So I don't think it's unheard of that we're going to see more of him. I just don't know that it's going to be soon.
I know. We'll be keeping an eye on Joe.
Yes.
And another person we're watching is Johnny Gargano. Yet again. Freaking Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano. He
is. So we got his email out there if you want to like book him for any appearances.
Yes.
And they're taking some time off. They got Mama Candace, Baby Quill, but Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Gargano is not going to be joining AEW anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Hardy, Shane Strickland, they all showed up, but they're like, yeah, we don't think we're going to see Johnny anytime soon. Johnny Wrestling's doing Johnny Wrestling. He's enjoying his free agent time.
Yesterday, we were talking about how he's super busy. I mean, he's got like a newborn baby, and he's, he's got a whole... Oh, somebody commented and said, Gargano will enjoy his time off. First.
Yeah, we all enjoy a little time off, don't we?
Yeah, and I feel like, I think we've talked about this before, like wrestling doesn't have like an off season. So
no, they don't. It's not like, other sports, like, yeah, it's football season, it's basketball season, it's spring training. It's like, no, it's 24/7.
It's always. So I'm sure that's probably another reason why he doesn't want to go back just yet, because like once he's in it for good. Like there's no breaks in between. So I'm sure we'll see him back maybe like 6 months. I'll give it 6 months.
I'll give him 6 months.
Yeah, like 6 months.
He might be signing some autographs and taking some pictures, but in the ring.
In ring, maybe 6 months. Yeah. All right. So moving on. Tony Khan.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna get my hat on.
Oh no.
My Jiffy Pop hat, because this is all guessing games.
Guessing games. So the only thing that's confirmed here is that Tony Khan is breaking news.
Tonight. We can say that for sure. It's something's going down tonight with freaking Tony Khan.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be bigger than like when CM Punk returned to wrestling. And I remember all the guys were like, oh my God, all those times we called CM Punk, confirmed, finally came true. And so now it's like, well, what the heck can be bigger? I mean, that was a long time waiting for CM Punk to come back. So what's going to happen tonight? Here I go. All right, Hat, let's do this. Is Tony going to buy Ring of Honor? Will Ring of Honor be like AEW's version of NXT, like their developmental program? Are we going to see some like talent share with WWE?
Maybe a crossover?
Like cross-brand super shows? I mean, Hulk Hogan did it back in the day with New Japan, like forever ago.
Yeah.
Forever ago. And Joseph, thanks, man. Yeah, I like that hat.
Yeah.
I made it myself. Okay. So AEW, New Japan, Impact, ROH and AAA having a universal working agreement to tie the Wrestleverse together? Maybe.
Whoa.
Maybe. I mean, so the whole New Japan thing isn't completely crazy. I've been hearing little bits of stories. There are forecasts of more names from the king of sports to compete with the elite because travel restrictions, movement restrictions were lifted in Japan. And then, I know, I'm going. Chris Jericho stated on Fight, he's like, I love the wrestling that is done in Japan. It's one of my favorite places in the world. He's like, as soon as Japan opens up, travel restrictions released, I can see a huge super show, New Japan versus AEW.
That would be epic.
Okay. Anyway, let me see. Any comments?
Yes.
Joseph is like, yep. Maybe. And then but yeah, least likely of these is WWE, but that would be a world changer.
That would. I mean, I'm wondering because we've had within the past 2 months a few big announcements with AEW. So how much bigger can it get? I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, how can it be bigger than CM Punk coming out of retirement?
Yeah. We had that. We had Keith Lee. We had Jay White showed up on AEW.
Jay White, the leader of the Bullet Club from New Japan.
All right, guys.
All right. Someone was asking about NXT. Let's move on to NXT because the people want to know.
Yes. So our girl Wendy Chu was she was on NXT 2.0 last night, and her and Dakota Kai defeated Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada to advance, while Cora Jade and Raquel Gonzalez defeated Valentina Feroz. I believe that's how you say her name. Feroz and Yulisa Leon to advance. So these are the two winning shots. Look at her in her onesie. It is epic.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so that means Chu and Kai are now going to face Jade and Gonzalez. Oh my gosh, Raquel Gonzalez is such a scary girl. Oh my goodness. So they're going up to the semifinals.
Yes.
And then the other side of the semifinals are going to feature Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray, two other super scary girls versus Casey Cantazzaro and Kaden Carter. I'm like, Ninja Warrior, I don't know if you got enough to go against Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, when I was looking at the pictures, I realized I was super sweaty when we wore those onesies to the show. How is she not dying in
I know. I'm like, if we go back, I'm like, I can't wear the freaking onesie again. It's already like, we're getting into it's getting warmer season. We're like, oh.
It's getting in the 90s next week. Did you see that?
Sick.
We're going to have that awesome tan next week.
I know. I need it. I'm a little pale. But okay, let's see. All right. We got some people who are watching.
Ooh.
They thought Yulisa and Valentina stole the show. Oh. Joseph is saying he's been watching Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
She's better live.
Oh, really? Interesting. I don't think we saw her when we went live, right?
No, she wasn't there last time.
She wasn't there. But keeping it in the NXT world, last night Amari Miller was injured, and she was taken out on a stretcher. They didn't.
Yes.
I looked for a picture where you could see her getting taken out, but all you could see is people hovering over her, and I'm like, you can't.
You're like, but yeah, she was totally taken out.
Yeah, totally taken out.
I hope it's not too bad.
I know that would be a bummer.
Yeah, stretcher's never a good sign. It's like,
yeah.
And then this bomb dropped during NXT.
Yes.
I'm like, when did this? How have I not heard about this yet?
Well,
I mean, was it just assumed that, of course, we're going to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar? Like, why wouldn't we? But I didn't realize Bobby Lashley was already good. He had that injury. I didn't know he was medically, ready to roll again.
I didn't either. And I remember that we talked about a show happening and Madison Square Garden, but I did not remember hearing them. So here we've got it. They are going to go up one another in New York City. You know how much I love the city. And that one must be a really fun show to see in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it's about time we saw Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Two MMA champs face off.
That is going to be epic. All right, guys, we're going to move on to...
Oh, before we leave NXT, concussion.
Oh, no.
The C word.
I hate concussions.
I know.
That is a bummer.
Joseph said that Raquel Gonzalez and Jade have some good chemistry.
Ooh.
And,
I think they do. And Gonzalez is like a beast. I think I love Wendy too, but I'm a little scared for her.
Joseph's getting a little feisty. He's like, consequences of less training. I don't know who the trainers are now, but I know that there was a big upset over at NXT and a change of the guard.
Oh, really?
Remember we're talking about like all of Triple H's guys being kicked out?
Yes.
But like that's trainers and stuff too. And like they're bringing in so many people who don't have a wrestling background. And, you know, maybe that's one of the consequences of not having enough wrestling training.
Oh, gosh. That's a bummer.
I'm not saying it's for sure. I don't know who the trainers are, but it's possible, right? All right. Talking about as we're jabbing on things.
We are jabbing, and this jab has got a lot of stuff in it. So let's get ready for this morning jab. All right.
Oh, man.
We're going to start this jab a little lighter in the jab.
I don't know. It's a good one. And it's like, so Thunder Rosa is sharing what it would mean to her and those worldwide if she beats Dr. Britt Baker at AEW Revolution. Dang, Rosa is looking fierce right there. I love that picture of her. And it's funny.
Ripped.
Oh, yeah. And like, I don't know about you, but the first like song that came into my mind was like, it's going down. I'm yelling timber. Okay. Yeah. I got like, you know, soundtrack to life in my head.
So she went to speak to Denise Salcedo on her YouTube channel this past week, and she was discussing how she felt. She basically brings up the Eddie Guerrero championship match that he had won back in like California. And she was like, do you remember like how he felt during that? And she was like, that's how I would feel. She's like, when was the last time that you saw a Mexican-born wrestler winning a major title in a major company in the U.S.?
I'm thinking. It's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal. And she's like, you know, it's not only about being Mexican. She says just like representing the Latina community is really important to her. And she's just going to be really excited because she's like, she knows this is going to be a big win for everyone, not just her. And she's really excited for it. And I love her. I saw the video and I'm like, every time I see her, I love her even more.
Oh man, I am loving the comments this morning. Are you seeing it? Our Wrestleverse is like being so cool to each other.
Aww.
You see that? They're like,
yeah.
They're like, you know what? You know, even the best get injured. You know, Samoa Joe messed up Tyson Kidd's career. That was bad. Tyson Kidd, it was. I mean, we're going off on a tangent, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, it does. Okay, we'll give it to them.
Yes. Oh boy, this next story.
All right, so yeah, Thunder Rosa. I'm excited. Is it because I got snubbed by Britt Baker on the cruise? Maybe.
I know. I still can't believe that.
I'm still not letting it go.
I don't know. Like, I felt like with her, it was going to be a hit or miss. Like, she was either going to be really sweet or like really cold.
Although I'm like the queen of like being totally oblivious. Like, la, 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 la. So I'm like, maybe she was oblivious or maybe she snubbed me. It's a 50-50 shot. But if you want to watch that whole video, Denise Salcedo has a great, like the full interview and Denise is really fun to watch, and so is Thunder Rosa. So check that out.
Yes, definitely check that out. And as we spoke yesterday, we got news that former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, he was involved in some sort of shooting. At that point, we didn't know how he was involved.
Yeah, we didn't even know he was arrested.
Yeah, he could have been the one that was hurt, but yeah, no, he was in jail.
He doesn't look all that upset there.
He does not.
I'm like, that is a mean mugshot. Like, when people mean mug, like that is just like a sup.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dang.
And the reasoning is not even light and fluffy. I don't know how to. You can't even.
And it's not like confirmed because Lord knows, like a Twitter thread from MMA reporter. Okay, so at least as an MMA reporter, Fight Oracle, was talking about like this confrontation between Cain and two other men, and the allegations, which is that great legal term of we don't really know, but we're guessing, involving one of the men and one of Cain's children. I'm like, oh God. If there's one thing I know, you do not mess with like a Latino dad. I have a Puerto Rican dad, and I could only imagine. You don't poke the Papa Bear.
No, do not poke the Papa Bear at all. And so yes, it was revealed that Cain was arrested for attempted murder. And the situation escalated. Velasquez fired 3 shots. He wounded a second individual and the father of the accused. So
I mean, as much as I love me some like cowboy shit on Yellowstone, there are really no reasonable excuses to be shooting anybody like that. Yellowstone's a great fantasy, but you also should not F with the children of like a trained killer pro fighter. It's like, absolutely, are you asking for trouble?
No, I think I would have expected him to like beat his ass rather than like fist. Shoot. Yeah, but it's a very sticky situation. Like you said, there's no excuse to shoot anybody ever. But I don't know the full situation. And
Papa and Mama bears go crazy if you mess with their baby bears.
My dad would go insane. He's a Colombian Papa Bear, so don't want to mess with him.
I mean, I saw my dad like lose his mind for like far lesser offenses.
Me too. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. And talking about ranting, if you need to rant, this came up and I'm like, I didn't know this was an option in my VIP pass. So we have like the VIP ticket for the Control Your Narrative show this weekend. Nice. And EC3 put this post out that, hey, with your VIP tickets for Saturday, you get your personal meet and greets. Like, be like, what's up, Adam Sir, EC3. And you get like, you get some merch, you get entry into the Control Your Narrative rant room. And I'm like, is this like the physical manifestation of Twitter? Right?
Basically.
That's what people do on Twitter is rant. So in the rant room, you have 3 minutes to yell and scream and berate your least favorite wrestler with 0 consequences. And I'm like, I can't think of my least favorite wrestler that would be at Control Your Narrative. Like, I couldn't imagine wanting to like yell at somebody,
I feel like that's so mean. Like these people
I know,
are there
like, it's bad enough
and like that's just terrible.
But like and then did a follow-up tweet saying, in my quest for wrestlers and fans to have the freedom to speak their truth, the CYN Rant Room is a tool for the development of opinionated people to have the courage to say what they feel to someone's face. In your face. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think people will have the courage to do it? I'm like, I have no desire to yell in anyone's face.
I feel like people definitely will if they like have the opportunity to. But like, it's kind of mean. Like, if you think about it, these people, like, this is their job. Like, they're sitting on a Saturday just taking in a bunch of screaming and yelling from people.
But this is a rough crowd.
That's true.
This is no tea party.
That's
There
true.
ain't even any coffee over here, I'm sure.
Well, like, how mean are they allowed to be, though?
I mean, I kind of like that they're calling out people. Be like, yeah, freaking Adam, for whom the trolls cry. He's like, tell it to my face.
Well, I think it's definitely a good way to let your anger out. So if you've got a VIP ticket, then definitely check out the rant room.
I will let you know as you're going off on your snowmobiles.
Yes, send me, please, if you see a video of somebody ranting, I would love to see that.
All right, let's get off this rant and get on to some fluffy news.
Yes. Oh boy.
Oh, damn Paul boys.
Logan Paul. We haven't heard of him in a while. I don't know what happened, but so we haven't heard from him for too long. He's kind of been like in the back burner, but seems as though
we know he's going to hang out with the Miz, right?
Yeah. He's revealed his wrestling bucket list that he'd like to achieve at WrestleMania. And he went on his podcast and he's like saying he likes the Miz. They're both from Ohio. He's like, we have so much in common. And he's like, that they've always gotten along. So they're going to be teaming up with the Mysterios, who are a legendary WWE family. And this is one, he's like, it's actually kind of funny because he's like talking about this match and he's so passionate and serious about it. And he's like, there's one thing I wanted to do my whole life, even before I considered coming to WWE. And he's like, I've always wanted to jump off the top rope. I'm like, that is so random.
Okay, and the first thing that comes to my mind, so like one of my total nerd ball favorite movies, like I will watch it again, is Nacho Libre. Have you seen it?
Yes.
I love it. And I'm thinking of freaking Nacho right now, jumping at the end when he's like, flying eagle, right? Freaking off the top rope. Yeah. That's what I am seeing in my head right now.
Yeah. His words were, and I quote, he wants to sail through the air like a effing eagle and land on someone.
Heck yes.
So he's dreaming big there.
All right. Let's see. I've lost the comments.
Alrighty.
Oh man, we missed a good question from the last story or a comment. So the control your narrative. So they try to get Tessa Blanchard and Brian Cage. They turned it down. Oh, I'm secretly hoping they'll surprise us and show up anyways, because those two are rough and tough. And all right, do we have time left? Time left for what?
What do we have time? We're not on a time rush here, guys.
We are not in a rush. You can hang out with us, get a second cup of coffee, come back. Yeah, we're good, Dean. We're drinking our coffee.
Everything is good.
We're in the fluffy part of stuff right now. I mean, I just went flying eagle on the
Oh yeah, and
flying eagle.
We've got a celebration with Sami Zayn.
Yes, Sami Zayn. Big 2-0.
Yes, he celebrated his 20-year anniversary in the pro wrestling business on Tuesday. Look at his cool little walk down.
Oh, yeah, he's strutting. He's strutting.
He is strutting down. Dean says he has a question. You guys can totally ask away.
Put those questions out there.
Put them in. We are open to any and all questions. So we don't have any more fluffy news. Told you guys it was going to be slim. There wasn't too much fluffy.
Not very fluffy.
But let's move on to some keeping it strong style.
I feel like our strong style news kind of got tied in with like the will New Japan merge or do like a super show with AEW. Yeah. However, when they come here to Florida, we've got some updates.
Yes, we have got more matches that have been released. So when they're going to be in Florida, it's going to be March 20th. And we're going to have the strong open weight Championship. Oh my goodness.
I know.
That's so
Yeah, it's like open weights. I
Open
guess that means it doesn't matter if you're cruiserweight, heavyweight, whatever weight.
Yeah. So here is what was released. So we
All
have
right.
Rocky Romero, Wheeler
Rocky
Yuta,
Romero.
and JR Kratos and
Kratos. Ooh, Kratos is like another big scary guy. We're like, dude, if he's a dad, oh, forget it.
Is he the one in the red jacket?
Yeah, he's a big scary guy.
Ooh, it's big and scary. And we've also got another lineup of Fred Rosser and Eddie Kingston versus Fred
that should be.
Yeagy
Oh, dang.
and
This
Daniel
is.
Garcia.
Oh my. These are some like really interesting matches. I like haven't really seen these guys together. I mean, I know we're getting ready to see like Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him team up with Fred Rosser. Rosser's a little face for Eddie.
Yeah, and we've got another one. We've got
Yuya?
Buddy Matthews and
Yuya Yamura. Oh, Buddy Matthews was playing dirty on AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was nasty.
Really?
He was mean pants. I'm like, oh goodness. He was hanging out with Malachi Black. He must have been misted.
Of course, everyone's misted that hangs out with Malachi Black. And the last one that they released was Tom Lawler versus Clark Connors.
Yes.
This is for the
I saw them on my last review. I was like, ooh, the Wild Rhino has come out to challenge filthy Tom Lawler. This should be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. And as we know, Jay White's got his US of J Open Challenge. So.
Oh, yeah. And Joseph's like, this is going to be a big test for you. Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah.
It is going to be absolutely epic. And that's going to be here, basically very close to us here in Tampa / St. Petersburg.
Yeah. Joseph's like, Lawler. Yeah, Lawler's vicious. Lawler is another one of those like legit MMA fighters who've like crossed over to pro wrestling. So he can bring the pain, and he fights dirty with those jorts.
Oh gosh, the jorts. I can't imagine like having to wrestle in jorts, especially for the guys that are so like far down. They're like biker short length for girls. So it's like,
well, he wears his like, so he comes out with his like, legit denim jean shorts. And then he takes off his denim jeans and there's like stretchy denim looking jorts underneath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. Cause I was going to say that would be crazy.
Yes. Joseph's like, you should get tickets. I'm like, I do have my tickets, Joseph.
There are tickets.
I got them already. Although Lexi's like, I'm entertaining. I cannot be there that evening.
I know, and it's funny enough.
I cannot leave my friend in the car in the parking lot. That would just be royally messed up.
That would be so bad. I would get the worst friend of the year award. But it's crazy because I'm going to actually be in Tampa. So like, yeah, kind of crazy. But I don't know. Maybe I'll see one of them there while I'm out at the beach.
I know. You're like, what's up?
How's it going? And I think that's all we've got for you guys today.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, Wrestleverse. Any other stories we're forgetting before we part for our days?
Yes, before we have a sad parting of our day. Don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow. We've got a question from Manuel. He said, what do you think about
dude, that
Manuel.
is so, that's out of my scope. I don't do the football.
I don't, unless it's football, like soccer, but no. I don't even, like, if I'm being honest, I used to go to the football games in high school and I would have no idea what was happening just because of like, it's a social setting. I just would go, but I never knew what was happening. So it's funny because my dad is like, you've been to so many football games and you still don't understand. I'm like, I was never watching them.
I was talking, I was hanging out.
Chatting up the storm.
Yeah, you were chatting and I was being a complete dork in the band. So yeah.
Oh, well, I was technically in band because I was in color guard. So that's all right. But it only lasted like a year because band is so time consuming. I didn't even realize. But all right, we're getting super sidetracked.
All right.
All right, guys.
We got a little bit of love. Thank you for the love.
That's sweet.
We love it. All right, guys. That's it. If you like what you have seen here today, please give us a thumbs up, a share, a subscribe, and
for some more Fight Kitties videos, you can click that link down below. And until next time, I'm Lexi.
And I'm Lady J.
Bye.
Bye.